Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Your Finance, where finance sounds good. I am Niranjan and today we are going to discuss about time value of money. It's a very important concept, whether it is corporate finance, personal finance, in all aspects of finance where money matters. So this has to be understood from this perspective. It is the foundation. So before we try to define and understand the meaning, let me give you an example. Say, it's a hypothetical example. Suppose I am a corporate trainer and I have been given an assignment for a company. So for a few hours, half a day, I'll be given 10,000 rupees. So that's the bill. I went for that job, I did it, and after that, the HR manager told me, Niranjan, see, there is some problem. Of course, in real life, no company would do that. So just a fiction that I'm going to tell you. So 10,000 right now, we are not going to be able to pay you right now. There is a problem. So is it okay if I pay you after 1 year? See, immediately, what would be my reaction? So the first thing that I would think about is the safety part, the risk part. If I don't get it today after 1 year, what is the guarantee? Even if there is 0.001% chance that I might not get the amount, or maybe I might not get the full amount, so there is a bit of risk. That is number one. As you know, a bird in a hand is worth two in the bush. So that is number one. The second thing would be the money, the 10,000 rupee. If I don't get it if I get it today, the value of 10,000 would be different because of the inflation. After 1 year, with the same amount of money, I won't be able to buy the amount of commodity or anything that I can buy today. So the purchasing power of 10,000 would definitely reduce if there is inflation. Whatever. Suppose if I can buy 2 grams of gold today with 10,000, maybe after 1 year, if the gold price goes up further, then I will buy only 1.9 some percent. It won't be 2 grams. It will be little less than 2 grams. So that is the second part. So that is the second reaction, the way I will think. Third is that the 10,000 rupee, the money has its opportunity cost. That means if I get the money today, that 10,000 rupees today, if I get it now, I can use it for anything, any purpose. I can do business, I can invest in business, I can invest in some stocks, I can put it in bank. So there is some kind of expectation that would play in my mind, how much I can earn, how much my money can earn if I put it like that, if I use it. So money has its use, So over a period of time, my money, suppose I get 10% return, I assume it is 10%, that is my minimum expectation. So 10,000 would give me 11,000 after 1 year at 10% interest. So can I say that 11,000 rupees that I get after 1 year, so that is my future value, right? And today it is 10,000, this is my present value. So present value with the interest, it's giving me the future value. So 1, if my present value is 1, so 1 plus R is my future value. So the future value is discounted by some, that 10%, that discounted rate. So when I come back from future value to present value, it is a discounting, right? And when I go from present value to future value, it is a compounding. So that is one concept. Right? So my money has its value. So over a period of time, it goes like that. So I'll give it this example. I'll describe it in the board, and that would be better to understand. So we take this illustration, 10,000. 10,000 is what I am supposed to get, and 11,000 I am taking 10% as the minimum expected return. So as I am not getting 10,000 today, and if the HR manager is ready to pay me 11,000, then there is no issue, right? Provided the other two factors, that is the inflation and risk factor, that those 2 points are constant. Okay. Now 10,000 is nothing but my present value, is it not? And 11,000 is my future value. So in this case, present value is compounded. This is compounded. This is a compounded value, and future value is my discounted value. Can I say that? This is a discounted value, right? So present value is the discounted value of the future value, and future value is the compounded value of the present value. So in this scenario, now let's take the example again, HR manager. They are not paying me 10,000 now, and they are paying me 10,000 after 1 year. So if my future value is 11,000 when my present value is 10,000, naturally if my future value is 10,000, my present value will be less. So it will be a discounted factor. So how do you do that discounting? So in this situation, first we get a present value, future value, and then, as I said, compounding factor and discounted factor. 4 things. This compounded factor, it is nothing, compounding factor is nothing but the future value of a rupee. So can I write this is equal to 1 plus r to the power n, and discounted factor would be 1 upon 1 plus r raised to the power n. R is my return, expected return, and n is my number of years. So we get basically a relationship between present value and future value. So in this scenario, if I get 10,000 after 1 year, so discounted value of 10,000 would be how much? 1 upon 1 plus r to the power n. So can I write, if my present value, or from this we can draw another formula wherein you can write, okay, before that let me tell you, present value is equal to future value into discounted factor, future value into discounted factor, and future value is equal to present value into compounding factor. So if I take future value here, can I write compounding factor is nothing but if I present value into 1 plus r raised to the power n. So from there, now we got 2 equations. I'll show you that. Then the things will be clear. So from this we get 2 equations. One is present future value is equal to present value into 1 plus r raised to the power n. Or can I write, if I rearrange, present value is equal to, this will come down if you rearrange. So present value is equal to future value divided by 1 plus r raised to the power n. We can write that. Now the things should be clear. That means 10,000 rupees that I am going to get after 1 year, the present value of 10,000 would be, future value is 10,000, present value is equal to future value, in our case it is 10,000, the HR manager is going to give me 10,000 after 1 year. So divided by 1 plus r is nothing but, if I decimally, it is 1.1 raised to the power 1 only, n is only 1 year. So 10,000 divided by 1.1, this will give you 0.9091. So if the company HR manager gives you 9,091 today, that is as good as getting 10,000 after 1 year. And suppose they pay me after 2 years, then what happens? Let's take that scenario. My 1.1 raised to the power 1 will be 2. So this will be 0. Even lesser than that. How much less it will be, I'll show you through a interesting calculation. Just give me one sec. So this is a basic calculator. Okay. 1 divided by 1.1 is equal to 0.9090. That is after 1 year, this is my present value. You just push this button second time. This is after 2 years. In our case, it will be 0.8264. That is 8,264. If I get the money after 2 years, that is as good as getting 8,264. If you push it third year, fourth year, fifth year. So like that, this is a technique from the basic calculator. You can get the present value like this. So in our case, it is 0.8264. 0.8264. So this is how we have to understand. After 2 years, the present value keeps coming down. So present value is equal to future value upon 1 plus r to the power n. So in this case, I'll give you an example that will be now more clear. Suppose I want to buy a car and the cost is 5 lakhs. This I want to buy after 5 years. That is my target, right? I want to buy it after 5 years. So in that case, my n is equal to 5 years, 5, and my expected return, suppose I get 10% from some investment in mutual fund or whatever. So in this case, my present value, I don't know. My future value, I know, is 5 lakh. This is nothing but my future value. Our present value is future value into 1 upon 1 plus r raised to the power n. So we know we have to find out the present value is equal to future value is 5 lakh divided by 1 plus r is 1.1 raised to the power 5. Now when you are raising it, that is after 5 years, the value just now I have found it, it is 0.6209. 0.6209. If you do it multiple times, 1.1 or the same way, divided by 1 upon 1.1 5 times. So if I take this figure 5 lakh divided by 1.1 raised to the power 5, you get a figure of 1.61051. 1.61051. So this will give me the answer 3,10,450. 3 lakh, that is round about 3.10 lakh. 3.10 lakh. So that is my present value. Or else if you look at this, I will now highlight this portion. This is nothing but my discounting factor, is it not? So in that case, if I could have written present value is equal to future value into discounting factor, and discounting factor is nothing but 1 upon 1.1 to the power 1 upon 1.1 raised to the power 5. This is nothing but 1 upon 1.1 raised to the power 5. If you take this 1 upon 1.61051, that will give you a figure of 0.6209. So both way you can reach the same answer. So in our case, present value is equal to 5 lakh. This is 5 lakh into 0.6209. 0.6209. This will give you the same answer. That means my present value is equal to future value into this discounting factor. That means if I have to buy a car after 5 years, and if my target is 5 lakhs, I have to invest 3.10 lakh today, assuming a rate of interest 10% or my return 10%. So that's how we can derive it. Or if you ask me like what about investing in a regular monthly or quarterly, if I put the money, so that is a different thing. That will be an annuity concept. So that we can do it later on. Okay, this is another interesting illustration. There are two projects, project A and project B, and you are planning to invest 1 lakh. So you have an option of investing 1 lakh in either of these projects, and your expected return is 10%. So now you have to choose like which one is better. Now project A is, this is a part of the problem. Now this is your discounting factor. Discounting factor, there is a table of course, but if you don't have the table you can make it also. You simply divide 1 upon 1.1, then keep pushing the equal button. You will automatically get the next year's discounted factor. So 50,000 project A, the future cash flow. These are future cash inflows. This is the outflow, 1 lakh rupees. Supposing this is your investment outflow and this is your inflow for the next 4 years. I have assumed this after 4 years everything will be finished. Or maybe this 40,000 includes the terminal cash that you get. So that whatever machine and whatever, suppose if it is a transportation business, you sell off that truck, something like that. So this is the future flow of income, 50,000 for project A, 35,000 again, then 40,000. And for project B, the future cash inflows looks like this, 30, 40, 50k, 40k. Now our job is to find the present value. What is the present value of 50,000? 50,000 into discounted factor. We get the present value as 45,000. Next year 35,000. This is for the second year. So second year the discounting factor would be even less. So the value of 35,000, the present value is very less, 28,000. Again next year it will be further down, 26,000. So if you get your money late, because of the delay, say after 3 years you get your money, after 4 years you get your money. So accordingly your present value would come down. Here it is 40,000, 27,000, 0.6830. Same way you have to multiply this into this into this. Like that you get the present value of this project B. When you add it up, the total you get 1.27, here you get 1.25. So this is the total present value, the future inflows. Now my investment is 1 lakh and my expected return is 10%. Here I am getting more than that. So both the project is feasible, good for me. But if you compare between A and B, A is better. So I would go for project A. So here, and suppose if I get less than 1 lakh, suppose if you multiply it and you get 95,000, so you don't accept that if you get 95,000. But if you get 95,000 doesn't mean you are making a loss. In that case maybe your return is less than 10%. But assuming means your expected level is 10% return. So assuming you expect 10% and at that rate of return you should get more than 1 lakh. Otherwise what is the point of doing all the this your investment or taking the risk of doing a business? Better you put it in some other investments wherein you get 8-9%, 10%. So the whole idea is that you have to get the net present value. And what is the net present value? This 1,27,994 less 1 lakh. So your net present value is 27,994. If your net present value is positive, you should go for the project. That is the idea. Right? So time is money, right? In a nutshell, 1 rupee today that you have is worth more tomorrow. So 1 rupee today is more valuable than 1 rupee tomorrow. So that is the concept of time value of money. And if you look at the, individually, if you look at, it helps you for your taking a financial decisions for your future goals. When you plan for your future, you can plan accordingly. And for the corporate sector, for the entire business sector, it helps them taking decisions like for buying a long-term assets, fixed assets, what we call a capital budgeting. And besides that, for day-to-day business operations, it helps. And whatever you have learned today, it's a single, the present value of a single amount and future value of a single amount. That is what you have learned. If you remember, I gave you an example of buying a car. So you put a lump sum one amount so that you can achieve your future value. 5 lakhs, that was your future value. So that is a single premium. In the same way, there could be present value of annuity, present value of future value of annuity. And what is annuity? Annuity is nothing but when you convert your asset into a streams of income. I'll give you an example to make it more clear. Suppose before retirement, I thought of, giving a lump sum amount to a pension company or an insurance company. So I give the company 20 lakhs rupees and the company promises to pay me a stream of income, say monthly or quarterly for the next 20 years or 25 years or lifetime, based on the kind of the product they offer. So that is the annuity. Or if when I pay my EMI or if I'm depositing every month, my recurring deposit. So there's a streams of income. That is the annuity. So we are not going to talk about we have not talked about the annuity part today. So that we can do it later on. So we'll talk about all the different types of annuities. There are different types of annuities also. So it is a very good concept and it really helps. So if you like it, please give your thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe my channel. Till the time we come up with the next video, we can do a financial leverage in the next video. I just thinking about it. That is also very important and very good concept. And till that time, thank you. See you again.